Hey gang, it's Chatney. Welcome to Color Certification Day 2. And Day 2 is about the flawless face. So what do I get to teach you today? Well, I get to teach you about foundations versus CC cream, some of our other foundation options. What would you apply those things with? And how to take care of your brushes, okay? So there's lots that I could teach you about the flawless face, but all of these things build on top of themselves, okay? So Katie's class yesterday about prepping and protecting, my class today. Every day you'll learn a little bit of something, but foundations all by itself could be a 20-minute class. So we're just gonna give you a smidge. And if you're watching this and you're a person that feels like you are not a makeup girl, and whether you're a consultant or you're a guest, because a lot of our own consultants are makeup girls, right? I have some car drivers that were chapstick girls and mascara girls, and that was the end of their glamour bag. So by all means, we design color certification for our consultants, and our guests just get to come along. That's why at the end of color certification, you're not gonna see us go through a long set sheet, or we might tell you prices, but we might just tell you prices just because some of our consultants are wondering, because we have lots of new consultants on here and they might be wondering. So rather than have them look things up. So if you're a guest and you feel like this is over your head, oh my gosh, it's over a lot of people's heads. If you're a consultant and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna get it, you are gonna get it, okay? We can truly teach you everything there is to know about makeup in a day. Most of what you are going to need to learn to run a very successful Mary Kay business is about people. So maybe we could do people certification after we do color. But I do promise you that makeup's not hard, right? It's not hard. We make it more difficult than it is. So I'm going to teach you some easy tips today, maybe so you can take a breath. So you do know that if you breathe in through your nose as long as you can, and you breathe out through your mouth as long as you can, and you do that 3 times, it brings all your brain cells back, right? So your head will start working again. So if you get overwhelmed, take a big, deep cleansing breath. There's nothing I'm going to teach you today that is a big deal. We're going to just talk about foundation. We're going to talk about what kind of foundation would be best for you. We're going to talk about what you should apply it with, etc. So, like I said, it's a big class if I really dug in and I dug deep and I taught you everything there is to know. So for consultants, this might not be the only class you need on foundation, right? But when I was a hairdresser, there were so many, all those numbers, right? And all that chemistry. I can tell you that this is a lot less complicated than that. And the company has made it, I believe, so much easier since we launched our new foundations. For the customer that's watching, let me tell you this. We did a ton of research and we realized that brand loyalty, as in I'm using you and I'm never gonna leave, the number one glamour item that brand loyalty is attached to is foundation. So if we can get your foundation right, you'll like never leave us, right? But for that reason, we cannot just send you something in the mail. So we have lots of great products for you, and a foundation that I 100% believe would be perfect for your skin when we get it right, but like there's human error attached to it because we have to choose it, okay? So between you and I, we could get the best foundation for you. We could get the best formula for you. We could get a foundation shade that never doesn't match your neck and chest, okay? So we can do all of those things. But you got to work with us until we find the best one that's right for you. And you cannot call us and say, I'm kind of a medium beige. Because there are 28 shades of matte foundation. And there are 23 shades of luminous foundation. And there's some difference in all of those, okay? So, with that, happy good morning. Here's foundation. Ready? So, what do I have on my face? Well, I prepped my face with Clear Proof because I've been working outside a lot. This is our Clear Proof cleanser. It's our acne system. Super affordable. The whole system is $45. So if you're a consultant and you have a person that is struggling with any acne issues or just has a lot of oily skin, I've been working outside a ton. So because yesterday I worked outside in dirt and in mulch and all of those things, I know that I kind of got to get ahead of a pimple, right? So if I think about what I'm doing and I watch my skin, I can get ahead of ever having a breakout. But I used this Clear Proof cleanser, this toner that has salicylic acid in it, and a moisturizer. Now, this system is not anti-aging. It's really designed for people with acne issues. It's super affordable because you get all that plus an acne treatment gel for $45. So that is really awesome. But for the consultants watching, just keep in mind, it has no SPF. So because I'm going to be outside cleaning a garage after I get done with this, I need to add an SPF. So I did add foundation primer, which Katie Ray was talking about in prepping your face yesterday. Foundation primer does have SPF 15 and it's awesome. And it feels like, I call it a pothole filler. So it feels like really serum-y on your face, and it doesn't feel like you have a buildup or a residue. So you'll love that. So that's what's on my face, just so you guys know. Next, I'm going to dive into which foundation is going to be best for you. So here is CC Cream. Now, for a ton of people watching, this is the thing that you could say, my skin's kind of got a tan to it, and we could send you light to medium CC Cream, and it's going to work for you. Or you can say, I'm as pale as you can get, and we can send you very light CC cream. Or you can say, I'm as dark as you can get, and we can send you our darkest CC cream. So with that, CC cream is super forgiving, and it also has SPF 15 in it, okay? Now, SPFs don't stack on top of themselves, and that might seem silly, but I get that question a lot. So you putting SPF 15 with SPF 15 is going to give you SPF 15, okay? And so whatever your strongest SPF is, that's the protection you have. So today, I kind of know SPF 15 is it. I'm going to wear a hat in the sun because look at me. I practically match my hair, okay? And I'm going to wear CC cream because I'm just going to be playing in the garage. So who is CC cream for? CC cream is called Complexion Correction Cream. Has 7 anti-aging benefits. It is, in my opinion, it's just about the best thing since sliced bread, okay? And I love our foundation, so I'm not trying to talk you out of a foundation, but if you're a consultant and you're like this, when it comes to testing someone's foundation, just do CC cream for a really long time. So CC cream is going to work for most people, okay? It would be easier for me to say, who does CC cream not work for, okay? Who does CC cream not work for? It does not work for the person that has a lot to cover up. It does not work for the person that is majorly concerned with acne issues, tons of redness, lots of acne scars. But I had really bad acne when I joined Mary Kay, was on Accutane. So using some of our products that even out complexion has really helped with my acne scars. So this used to be really purple in through here. And I had lots of acne in my T-zone, lots of acne on my forehead. And so I feel like if you're a person that needs extra coverage, you want to look at a foundation. If you're a person that says, I'm just going to be outside, I want a little bit of something, I just want to even out my skin tone, I want something in between a tinted moisturizer and a foundation, then this is for you, right? It's kind of for all other people. So you just heard me say, we only have 5 shades of this. 5 shades to cover every single person, from the lightest light person to the darkest dark person. 5 shades, okay? So that tells you it's got a very blendable range. So I'm going to use CC cream on one side of my face today, and I'm going to use foundation on the other side as I walk you through it. So I'm just going to get a little bit of CC cream on the back of my hand. I use the color called Very Light because I'm very light. Now, here is my other tip. What am I going to apply CC cream with? So I'm going to walk you through 3 products today that you might want to consider when you're looking at what to apply your makeup with. Now you could use your fingertips. I'm not a fingertips person because I usually always have fingernails. I don't like to get anything under my nails. I think that's gross. And I just don't like to have a bunch of stuff on my hands because I usually am always touching stuff. right? Not touching your face has been very hard for me. Okay, so I don't like to put anything on my hands, and I don't think you get the best coverage by using your hands. And I think you use more product than you need to, because some of that product is soaking in to the palms of your hands. So if you want to use the least product possible and you want to have the best coverage possible, I think you need one of these three options. So we're going to start with the least option and move our way forward, okay? Here are three options. Brush number 1, brush number 2, sponge number 3, okay? Brush number 1. Let me get the name right, because I always kind of mess our brushes up since we got new brushes. So, brush number 1 is called the liquid foundation brush, okay? Brush number 2 is called the blending brush. Okay, so when it comes to brushes, here's what you need to know. When there is a lot of space in between your brushes, that's going to give you the least amount of coverage, okay? Yes, we do need them all. But if you have to pick one, here's the deal. This is going to give you the least amount of coverage because this has a lot of space. You can really dig your fingers into that, okay? This is going to give you the most amount of coverage because look at this. Like, it has, and I forget the stats, but this has like 10,000 bristles and this has like 30,000 bristles. And I probably got that really wrong. But this has three times the number of bristles that this brush does. So this is going to give you light coverage. This, lots of coverage. This, a medium amount of coverage. So here we go. Okay? Because a person that uses CC cream might already like a little amount of coverage, I'm just going to use this brush. Okay? And this brush, I'm just going to like, what do you call that? Stipple? I don't know. I'm just going to dab. I'm going to dab that. And I'm going to get the product on. Okay? Now, when you work with your face, the only time it's okay to go down on your face is when you do foundation, because all the little downy hairs in your face grow in a downward direction, and if you go up, you go against the downy hairs, and if you go down, you go with the downy hairs, okay? So I'm going to do my eyelid because there is a lot of color on your eyelid. Now, normally I would use like an under eye corrector. Okay, always go out when you go over your eyes, and when you work underneath, tap, 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 okay? You do want to get that right up to your eyes. But it is okay to go down when you do it. Now, you cannot go down, down. This is not painting. You'll look like you painted a wall. You know when you can tell that you painted bristles on a wall? You don't want to look like that, okay? So you're going to go a million different directions, but the last strokes you make should be in a downward direction. Okay? So you guys can tell the difference. Look at that. That is one, I mean, if I could divide my head down the middle, okay? But that is one layer of CC cream versus nothing, okay? And the only thing I have on my face today is mascara because I wanted you to be able to see my eyeballs, okay? And I have white eyelashes. So that is one layer. You want a little more coverage, but you still want to feel like you have nothing on, do a second layer of CC cream with the same brush, okay? Especially in the places, so I do have redness in my T-zone. So if you feel like, oh, I've got some redness there, okay. And always, I know this sounds gross, always make sure you get your nose, because sometimes we take that brush like this, and then you have like this little red ring around your nose. Nobody wants a red ring around your nose, okay? So unless you're gonna share your brush with someone, which you shouldn't, then use this brush and get in around your nose, okay? Now, you have a lot of discoloration in the eyelids, which is why I always do my eyelids. So look at that. I mean, that's one and a second, one application, one thin application with another thin application, and that's it. And so that could be enough that you just call it quits and be all done. I'm going to show you translucent powder on top here in a second on both, but it makes such a big difference. Okay, so that is CC cream. CC cream, if you could see the back of my hands, you can see how much veins show up in the back of this hand. But see, this hand is where I have the CC cream. I mean, look at the difference of that, the redness. And this is very water resistant. So it's like the perfect outside foundation, right? Okay, now I'm going to move to actual foundation. Now, we have foundations that have numbers, okay? So we have ivory, beige, and bronze, and we have cool, warm, and neutral. So this is like an hour class cut into a couple minutes. Here's the tips. When in doubt, try to stick with an N, okay? So for the consultants in the room, they're like, I do not want to mess her up, okay? The hardest foundation I think to work with is W's, because that is a warm foundation, and that's a great foundation for the person you say, do you ever burn? And they have that kind of skin that they never burn, right? You can give them W's. Everybody else, you really shouldn't give a W to. And if you give a W to a person who is not a W, that's the only foundation that kind of will make her look like she's going to vomit. Okay? So it's not my favorite. It's like even for a person that's done Mary Kay for 1 and 2 years, right? It's kind of like the foundation that I'm like, I think that you're a W, okay? But here's just an easy rule of thumb. Ready? Are they a person that has pink in their skin? Or are they a person that looks super washed out, right? Or are they a person that is kind of in between? Okay, I have a lot of redness, and so I can do a neutral or I can do a cool to kind of camouflage some of that. But if you stick a warm on me, I'm going to look like I'm getting ready to vomit, okay? It's just that olive skin, and that olive is not the best if you are a person that has and it's not just, so I think here's the mistake we make when we're doing foundations. Sometimes we go, oh, you're really olive complexioned because you're dark and have a tan. And that's not it, right? You can't just say you're dark and have a tan. I was a lifeguard for 7 years. After a bunch of baby oil an entire summer, I was dark and had a tan. So you can't go off that. So you need to say to a person, do you have a lot of pink in your skin? Or do you feel washed out? Do you tan really easily? Those are all things that you would go, oh, let's cover that redness, okay? Or, oh, let's do something with that discoloration or that no color in your skin, right? So those are some things you want to keep in mind. And here is the thing. When in doubt, stick with an N, okay? And you can see in the back of your lookbook, whether you're a customer, and we can attach to this link, a little link to our new lookbook. During this pandemic, we have not had a lookbook this quarter. So you can see in the back of our book, right here, you can learn a lot, and you can notice a lot just simply in looking at the foundation. Even though it's on paper, you guys can tell a difference. There's ones that have cooler bases, there's ones that have warmer bases, and there's ones that are more neutral. You can't really see pink and you can't really see yellow. So when in doubt, stick with them. And you can, we have a foundation shade matcher, and the secret with that shade matcher that came in your starter kits is that you cannot lay it next to someone's skin. So you cannot take that shade matcher and lay it like this, because you're going to miscolor someone. You're going to mismatch them. What you can do is lay it about a ½ inch away and see which foundation you can no longer see anymore. And that's their shade. But it has to not touch their face. It has to be about this far away. Take that little shade matcher with all the little shades. You can pretty much go, pick which formula of foundation she wants, because that has all the formulas. That has mineral powder, that has liquid, that has cream to powder. You pick which formula she's going to want, and then you kind of lay it a ½ inch away, and you let the color selection do the rest, okay? So what do I think are popular shades? I think if you are a person that has a tiny bit of color and you would consider yourself to be a beige, I would start with beige N150 if I was a consultant, because I sell a ton of beige N150. I sell a ton of beige N200 if you're a little bit darker, okay? So start there if you're a person that has not branched out past CC cream. But a neutral shade is where I would start, unless you see lots of pink or lost to washed outness, then you can start right there, okay? So I personally use Ivory N160. Ivory N160. And I'm going to show you, and because I want more coverage, because I'm using a foundation, I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of my hand. And I'm going to use our blending brush, and I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, this is a much different feel, and you're going to notice more coverage on this side. Now, here's what I'll give our foundations. It does not feel like I have a heavy foundation. Since Katie Ray came and helped me with landscaping, I might be darker than Ivory N160. I think you guys will find it challenging to really find very many clients that are Ivory C100, Ivory C110. You know, those are really light. I feel like I'm pretty pale, and I don't think you're going to find a lot of people that are going to be those very light shades. So when you're thinking about stocking up on some foundations or having anything in stock, you would want to consider starting with N's and branching out after that to C's and W's. Okay? So there's how I apply. Okay. But do you guys see? This is a little more coverage. It's also a little lighter than this, right? Do you see the difference? But this is more coverage, and you can notice it in my cheeks, and this is just one coat. Okay, so if I wanted the most coverage, I need to go with a liquid foundation. Now, we have cream to powders. Cream to powders go on like a cream. They set like a powder. They're amazing. They settle in fine lines because they finish like a powder. So if you're a person that goes, oh, I love cream to powder, and you are 50 years old, my recommendation to you is don't. Don't love a cream to powder, because I don't even like cream to powder as much anymore, and I used to always use cream to powder. But cream to powder settles in fine lines, and then you notice it more. Just like if you were to put a pressed powder or loose powder on top of your foundation, you can notice fine lines more when you have something setting like a powder, okay? So I would veer away from cream to powder if I was a person that was concerned about my fine lines and wrinkles showing up. I would go more with either a CC cream or with a foundation. Now, would I go with matte or would I go with luminous? Well, usually as we age, we have more dryness in our skin. So luminous might be what you want to choose. Also, when you increase the luminousness, the luminosity, I don't know if that's a word, but when you increase that luminous look, you also hide the appearance of the fine lines more. So you might want to try a more luminous look. Sometimes people don't like that, but I promise you that you will notice your fine lines and wrinkles less if you have less of a matte finish. Okay, now that said, translucent powder is totally different. Translucent powder is a super fine powder. If I used, for example, when we first launched a mineral powder line, I had lots of customers that were used to another line popularly sold on television that had a mineral powder. And our mineral powder is milled 5 times, which means it is sifted. Like if it was flour in a sifter, it is sifted 5 times, which means it's super fine. Okay? Now, this powder does not, it's just white, okay? And if you're used to using like a finishing or a mineral veil or something, this is going to be comparable to that. Okay, so here's the deal. This is our translucent powder, tiny bit of powder. It's got a unlock lid, which is great for travel, so you don't slop your powder all over the place. Okay, I just tap it and get a little bit in my lid, and I'm going to show you the difference. Okay, I'm going to do this side. Okay, do you see just the difference that one side made? Right? It just makes a little bit more flawless look. And so I love this. It does a great job of setting your makeup, but you're just going to dust it on. And it kind of just makes your skin look like that porcelain baby doll. And everybody wants their face to look like porcelain baby doll. Okay, so that is our translucent powder. Love it, love it. I'm going to finish by telling you two things. This is a blending sponge. Now, most of the time, I use a blending sponge to do my makeup. I just grew up using sponges, and it's just kind of what I'm used to. And it doesn't matter how long you've been teaching makeup. You kind of just we're all creatures of habit, right? So here's the thing I realized about a blending sponge when I went to Makeup Artist Lori Hogg's workshop. One, sponges carry a ton of bacteria. So as a person who has more of an oily complexion or has struggled more with my skin over the years, sponges aren't usually the best bet. And I just said I use a sponge. Okay, so you can't keep sponges forever. Sponges aren't supposed to last you a year. Okay, and so here's the deal. The other thing that I would do is I would get a little bit of CC cream on the back of my hand, and I would just take a dry sponge. Or when she said get it wet, I just like whoosh, ran it across my faucet. Okay, you have to pump water into it. So it's like a pump, 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 pump. Lori Hogg says 12 times. 12 or 13 pumps, okay? And then it grows from a sponge this big to a sponge this big, and you get a lot of sponge to work with. And so it's really, really great, okay? And then I just do the same thing that I did with my brush, but the sponge is a really awesome option as well. And these sponges, I put my sponge in the microwave for 10 seconds. Okay, never thought about that. See, you guys are always teaching me something. Okay, so maybe you put your sponge in the microwave for 10 seconds. I don't know. But I just know that the difference in your makeup when it is filled with water is amazing. Okay, you're going to wring it out as much as you can wring it out, and then you're going to apply. So that is the deal with that. Now, this is our brush cleaner. And brush cleaner, I'm gonna tell you a couple things, which everyone that is watching is like, why did you teach them that? Okay, this brush cleaner, it's amazing for sanitizing in between, for just spraying your brushes so that your brushes stay clean, okay? Because you need to protect your brushes even from you, okay? Oh, you microwave it to clean it. I'm like, really? Do you just like a warm sponge on your face? Okay, got it. Katie Ray and I agreed that we would not read comments as we were doing this so that we could use these videos for the rest of our lives. And then Katie Ray is the comments that I keep reading and they get me off track. Okay, there's that. Okay, so here's the deal with the brush cleaner. The brush cleaner is awesome and it will protect you even from you. Okay, so we all touch things. We touch our face. And so there's germs on your own brushes that you're using on you. So this brush cleaner is amazing. Do I think that this brush cleaner is the only thing that you're gonna need to ever wash these brushes with, okay? No. Here is how I personally take care of my brushes. And here's a big tip with all brushes, even if you don't use ours. I would put a couple of drops of like Dawn, because Dawn, you've seen the commercials with the little duckies in the oil, right? Dawn cuts grease, and our foundation and any kind of a liquid on a brush is going to have that feeling that you need to get out of those brushes. And so I would recommend a couple times a month. You're probably not going to do it. And if I could just get you to do it once a month, that'd be awesome. Okay? But I would get a sink filled with warm water. I'd put a couple of drops of a Dawn dish detergent, an antibacterial dish detergent in, and then I would swish, 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 make bubbles, and I would lay all my brushes in it, okay? And I would let them soak. Your sink is gonna be filled with all this coming out, okay? And then I would rinse the brushes and keep rinsing the brushes until they run clean and the water runs clean. Here's the major tip when you're drying your brushes. Let's say that this is my counter. Do not lay your brushes like this over your countertop because the weight of the water permanently misshapes your bristles. You need to take a little towel and you need to not wring them like this, okay? You're just gonna squeeze the water out, then you're gonna lay all your brushes on a towel and they're gonna dry. And later on in the day when you get home from work or whatever you're doing, you just rotate them. And then by the next morning, they're gonna be dry. And then this is an everyday awesome thing that I do. But is that gonna be the only thing I ever wash my brushes with? It is not. Dawn dish detergent is how I take care of brushes. Okay, so I think with that pretty much covers. I don't know if you guys have any more questions. And like I said, foundation is a gamut of things that we could teach you. We will drop some different training into comments into our comment section. So if there are other things that we could share that would help you guys, but the best thing that you can do as a consultant is just play around with them, right? The best thing you can do is take a couple different shades and try them for yourself. Katie's gonna put our forms in the comments. So we have a Google form. So just for you guys watching, here's what you can win. If you're a customer and you watch all 6 videos, you can watch them live, you can watch them later, but if you are a customer and you are on here, then you are eligible to win a completely filled compact of your choice, completely filled with whatever you want to put in it, and you win it for half price. You only have to do 2 things. You have to watch all 6 videos and fill out the little Google form telling us what you liked and learned, and you have to watch Katie Ray or I's 10-minute video telling you a little bit about Mary Kay the company and our story. And if you do that, you get a completely filled custom compact, and you can pick the big one, you can pick the little one, fill it with colors, and get it for half price. You also will get to come to Lori Hogg, our makeup artist. She is going to have a glamour training, and you'll get to come to Lori Hogg's glamour training. It's going to be virtual, and it is in July. And Lori Hogg is amazing. She charges over $200 an hour for training, and you guys get to come to that and learn. Okay, so that's what you get as a customer. How do you earn that as a consultant? As a consultant, you have 15 people watch our videos. Now, it doesn't have to be 15 people that watch all 6 videos. Just have 15 people pop on, watch a video. You need 15 different customers to watch some videos, because we want you to master the skill of branching out. You know, as a consultant, we always start with our family and friends, but we don't stay with our family and friends. Our family and friends lead us to other people that will end up loving the product. And one day you'll wake up and you'll be at a skincare class. You know, back when we can return to being at skincare classes, you'll be at a skincare class and you won't know where any of those people came from, because they were a friend of a friend of a friend. And that's when you just hit your sweet spot. And so we want to help you get you there. And so sometimes we have to push you to get there a little harder than you would push. Okay, and so that's our encouragement to you, is 15 different guests. Now, your friends who are on here, they can help you. Okay, they can say to their friend, I learned a lot in this little video. You should pop into this little group and watch this little video. Every day we tell you the night before in this group what we're going to be teaching you the next day. So maybe you're a person that could care less about any of this stuff except when it comes to eyes, and you really want to be part of the eye session. Great, just pop into the eye session. I mean, I think we can teach you something every day, but that's just me. So if you don't want to watch all of them, you don't care about coming to the makeup artist, that's fine. Just come learn about eyes, okay? So with that, we have a drawing that we will do at the end of each of these, and so we will announce a winner today for those of you that watched live. So hurry up and put all your comments, because we do a random selection, and so the more comments, the more chances you have. You guys make it a great day. I hope we taught you something about foundation, and reach out to your consultant and say, hey, I'm kind of thinking this based on what she said. What do you think? And that's what she's there for. So, and if she needs any help, that's what Katie Ray and I are here for. So you guys make it a great day.